This is Kam Kelly. Welcome to another Devil Talk. This week, once again, joined by Brent Pope.
Good morning.
That was very good morning, Vietnam. It was very Robin Williams there. Good morning. And also, back from injury, after what seems like an eternity, it's Mark Smith.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, yeah. I mean, good morning was quite hard to follow, in all fairness. But I think you held your own. So I think we were trying to figure this out. It's been since October last year you've been out with injury.
Yeah, I've been out. My last game, I think, was October 2nd, and I got injured in training October 4th.
Is it harder to take when the injury occurs in training? Is it more, would you rather, for the sake of telling a story at the bar, would you rather it have happened in some almighty bust up on the ice during a really competitive game?
Oh, most definitely. You know, I'd love to tell a story happening in a game, doing something like to save the game or something. But yeah, unfortunately, it happened in training. Took a bad knock, went in awkwardly in the boards. And
well, I'm not asking you to name names or point fingers, but point a finger and name the name. Who was responsible?
Well, it was me and Scott Maska racing towards a puck in the corner.
Have you and Maska been all right since, or do you ever?
Yeah, it's been fine.
It's been fine.
He's said it's good for me to be back, and everything's cool there.
Is it the most frustrating thing in the world when you can't get on the ice and you have to take that time off?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it sucks. Like just having to watch games and knowing you can't be out there helping your team and doing what you do, but then you finally just just get it together and start. Just got back in the gym again myself, and then try to get myself in the best shape as possible, and trying to get to return for this year. And thankfully, I've been able to come back and play tonight. So, and
be honest, while watching those games since October, how many of them have you sat there and quietly to yourself gone, "If I was there, we would have won that"?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Probably not to bring to the table what I can, but everybody's stepped it up. Obviously, with Arthur and Maxie being out now, Timmy being out. Everybody's really stepped it up. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to be like, if I was there, we would have won, that kind of thing. But obviously, I'd like to be out and contributing, and hopefully, maybe my contributions would help the team win. I don't know. Tonight
is your first match. We're recording this on a Thursday morning. Tonight is the Edinburgh Capitals in the Bay. After you come back from such a long time off injured, do you go onto the ice all guns blazing, or aware of what an injury can do to you, do you go on quite cautiously?
You know, I think definitely you got to have some awareness out there, and I haven't really taken any knocks on the shoulder yet, so it's going to have to be a wait and see kind of thing. Just take a few hits, give a couple hits, see how that goes, and if everything feels all right, then I think, maybe then definitely step it up and try to play like I always have. I think it's going to be kind of a wait and see, but obviously, you're still going to go out there, obviously put your best effort and whatnot. So,
how long have you been back actually full-fledged training, Mark? Since obviously you took time off initially. You said 6 weeks you were in a sling, and then you actually got in training, ahead of Christmas probably, and getting yourself. But how long, officially back training and earmarking this date?
I've been skating with the team for probably over a month, full out training with contact and everything for about a week and a half. So hopefully that. In terms of getting my timing back and all that kind of stuff, hopefully that week and a half will be enough for me to come back and be able to contribute to the team. So
we've got we got a Thursday night game tonight, Cam, and then Sunday we're in Fife, and then next Tuesday again the rescheduled game from this weekend. But probably a good string of games for Mark to get his feet underneath him, because it's not only the game shape and playing in a game is so much different than training, and particularly training off ice. So it's probably just as much of a settling in time for Mark, as he'll want to see exactly what he can do and what he can't do. But just to comment about his contribution, I mean, I think if you look at our scoreline this year, it was actually mentioned in a league meeting on Tuesday. If you look at Cardiff's points this year, if we had actually got half of what we lost in extra time, we'd be right there with Nottingham in third place. So I think once we lost Mark, that quality, in our lineup in general, it ends up paying a tax. You end up as an overall unit, and particularly when you lose Brad Voth and Max Beerbreyer, that depth in quality is noted, and you just don't have quite enough as you need to in order to get the results that you might have been able to get with your full complement of players.
I mean, how much difference does Brad Voth, Max Beerbreyer, and Mark Smith make to extra time and penalty shootouts?
It's a huge difference, especially Maxie. The amount of skill he brings in shootouts and overtime. Vother, his presence out there is phenomenal. He can change games just by himself being out there. Myself, obviously, I'm not going to be in a shootout or anything like that, but I think just bringing some grit and trying to sacrifice my body, block shots or whatnot in overtime and stuff like that. Maybe that can
change a game.
Yeah, it can change the game, hopefully. So
yeah, it's the little things, it's the cumulative effect of a player who's out there making it more difficult for the opposition to score goals. And if they have a night where they realize they're not going to be given time and space or be able to get the shooting lanes they want to find in order to try and score goals, you get a little frustrated and you lose your confidence a little bit. Then come overtime and then come penalty shots. If you aren't as encouraged about your prospects of scoring goals because all game you've had a harder go at trying to achieve that, then it's that little bit of difference, isn't it, between winning and losing in a shootout? And if confidence is anything to play in it, which we know it is, then that greater lineup you've got throughout the course of the 60 minutes and then the 5 minutes of extra time helps to readdress that balance. And I think that's probably the overall contribution and output that Mark would have offered the team. And without it, you just don't get the value of that contribution. Well,
Saturday night in the Bay, it was Coventry, and I think that's one of the first times I've seen extra time go in favour of the Devils, and that was a nice little win.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'll let Mark comment in a second, but Stuart McRae, who's really been leading us offensively, certainly in the second half of the season, and for my money, I think he's been our best Cardiff Devils player all year, at both ends of the rink. But he scores a great one in extra time and almost surprised me. I actually bet somebody £1 that we'd be winning it, and within 5 seconds he scored. So, it was great because we've had that real sort of noose around our neck or sort of heavy feeling that once we've gone into extra time, we haven't quite had enough to get the job done. So good and encouraging, particularly at this end of the year when we're looking to try to get to that playoff weekend.
Out of the 3 matches that we look forward to, the immediate 3 matches, obviously, like we discussed, and it's well documented, you're coming back from quite a time off with injury. Which game are you most looking forward to? I mean, I know that obviously tonight is your first time back on the ice competitively, and then you've got Sunday away in Fife and then Tuesday back at home against Dundee. Which one of those are you most excited about, would you say?
Well, obviously, like you said, tonight be my first game in 5.5 months, but I can't really pick a particular game that I'm looking forward to. I'll tell you what, I'm all looking forward to the 10-hour bus ride on Sunday.
There are so many aspects of ice hockey that I can't get my head around, like all the physicalities of actually moving at the speed that you do, playing the game that you do, having the fights that you do. But also, one of the other things, I just don't think any journey is worth 10 hours unless you're getting off in America, Canada, Australia at the other end. It's just weird when you're getting off in the UK still.
Yeah, it's not an ideal situation, but you kind of get used to it. But, for myself, I think I made 1 Scotland trip this year, so it's going to be... It's gonna be interesting to see how I feel on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. So.
It's the gift that keeps on giving,
isn't it?
And as you go through and up the UK, the one thing that's interesting though here in the UK, you can actually get somewhere in 10 hours. You do that in North America, and you might have just got out of the state. So you can actually get somewhere all the way to Scotland, but I think it's probably much a UK perspective thing. It's not the sexy part of the professional journey, is it?
No. During your time off injured, how much of a support has Kenton been to you?
No, he's been good. He's especially right after my surgery, he's always checking in on me, making sure I'm all right, and having me over for dinners at his and his girlfriend's place. So.
When he came in recently, he was saying it's actually really nice to be playing on the same team as each other, because growing up, you both had your own careers going, and you didn't actually get to spend that much time together. So this has kind of been a great time bonding-wise for 2 brothers.
Yeah, definitely. This is our 3rd year now playing together. And like you said, growing up, when I was 12, he was 16, he moved away to go play hockey. So pretty much for the entire winter, I never saw him or anything like that. So it's definitely been a positive.
Excellent. Good work. Well, listen, mate, we wish you the best of luck with your first expedition back out onto the ice tonight against Edinburgh. Obviously, to the rest of the boys as well in tonight's game, Sunday's game, and next Tuesday's as well. Thank you, Brent Pope, for coming in.
Rock on for a strong close to the season for the Cardiff Devils.
Wow, that's the strongest goodbye you've ever done. I like it. You're starting and finishing with catchphrases. You're really coming into your own.
Starting to happen.
And Mark Smith, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.